there's been this talk about how the government, the city has turned its back on its people, on the people who put the city on their back. You know, how the government doesn't support the Edo State artists. They go ahead to pay, say, a Wizkid tens of millions, and then they beg the Edo State artists to just manage small team, make it just whole small team take day. First off, I want your reaction on that. What do you think about that line of thought?
I would say I am hurt, not because of what the government they're doing. I would say I'm hurt and I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of the average Edo man. The average Edo man out there, let's leave out the government for now. We have an inferiority complex, and it's so sad because when I read the history of Nigeria, the Benin Edo Empire used to be as big as Kaduna, straight down the whole of the West. Then even Benin Republic was actually named after. So Benin people know they appreciate their own. You know, it took a lot for me to. I had already had that mindset of always existing on my own, so I was not keyed into the fact of, hey, I'm from Benin, no, if they don't support me, I would die. You know, because if I had done that, I'll probably have suffered in the aspect of resources. I am very happy that my legacy as an artist is protected. You know, you can never catch me sleeping, you know, less than stellar in however I present myself in socials, lyrical wise, in hip-hop talks and discussions. But the truth is, Edo State has become ashamed of their own. I'm really happy that the dream team of Silverbird is back on, and people who deserve to have slots to be gatekeepers and custodians of the culture are now on seat. But the truth is, if you look at the culture of Edo State, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of radio, I'm ashamed of TV, I'm ashamed of the lounges, I'm ashamed of the average man, because the average Edo man does not appreciate its own. You know, I come from a generation where the OAPs, the business, the people from the conductors to the tomato sellers, when they see you, they pay you a good word. Ah, nice one, you're doing well, look, keep them up, now you will get, so, you know, stuff like that. We don't need the money and stuff, you know. Then the whole structure was keyed into supporting Edo State music. And I can tell you for a fact, when I dropped my first album, The Infection, after Lagos in Nigeria, Edo State was the next hot spot. You know, the musical DSTV stations, they used to come to Edo State back to back to hold lounge parties and at lounges here. But now, they say now rat for inside house, now go tell rat for outside house where food they inside house. The Edo State people, if you want to talk about their own artists, they're like, they don't know where that one. You don't see this person where they do, that person and they read now. You know, the other day I was on Instagram and someone was like, Cyrus does not have so many followers on Instagram. I'm not much of an Instagram savvy person. You understand? But it was like, Cyrus does not have so many Instagram followers. I'm not sure you're not joining anymore. You know, all these they aggregate to the fact that we put our own down. The truth is that if radio supports the artists and they become a staple across the airwaves, if the Edo people support their artists and raise them to the fore, there is no way the government would not pay good bucks to have those on stage. Now, what thing you ask for, they will give you. Government, they are handling administration of the state. They are not listening to radio right now. But when they say, there is one person that is MC Edo, Rhyme Spitter, that guy in the rain now, man, you have to go get that guy if you want this government show to rock. They will go and get him. You understand?
But the thing I want to point out from what you just said is, you've pretty much just blamed everybody.
The whole structure, from the head to the tail, everything is wrong, and we need
except the artists. You never mention anything about the artists and the body of work and the project and the focus and everything that they put out. You, for example, have been off the scene for 6 years. So how well do you think they can keep up waiting on you to drop materials when there are a lot of distractions? You know? The average Edo State artist, look, no matter what rappers come and go in the city, Do you know why you would continue to be mentioned? Because the bulk of the new cats do not put in enough work.
Yeah.
So whenever any hip hop conversation is happening, it's where's Cyrus this safe?
Yeah.
Because when you came out, you put the work, the hunger, the passion, the emotions, everything was on your project, on your songs. You basically just put the city on your back.
Facts.
But these guys, they don't do nothing.
Yeah, I agree. But the truth is, when I came out with my voice. It was right for you to point that out. It's sad for me to say Edo State and by extension the South, they've lost their voice. Shout out to Eriga. Eriga is the rapper that I think is doing it the way, respect to metaphors and pun spitters like Duno. You know, they have their own subgenre of rap. But I've always leaned more towards Eriga because I am like that, the street rapper. Pidgin English, real lyrics, you know, garage slangs, you know, street stuff. Eriga has been holding it down. A lot of Benin rappers, and by extension the South, they've lost their voice, their originality, their core.
So what is the core of a South rapper?
The core of the South rapper, we are influenced by realness, by oil spillage, militants, bad governance, especially lack, especially in every aspect or industry in the South. That should be our inspiration. That's why if you listen to most of my songs, they were all about streets, surviving, hustling, and all. We cannot go to Lagos and start to rap like a easy, pom 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 pom. That is their style. The Yoruba people are known for partying. And that's why they will never lose in that arena. So what do we do to stand out and still have a strong voice? It's by staying true to our people, our land, our ideologies, our idiosyncrasies, and our philosophies. If we do not do that, let me tell you the truth, that the fans can spot a fake from a mile off. A South rapper that will just come out and say, yo, I'm from the South, I'm from Edo State, and they go, yo, I'm chilling, I'm partying with my friends in Club Rumors. Everybody will be like, oh my God, you know. People like Vector, who are by virtue of being who they are, have taken brands like Hennessy across all states. When you ask him, he will tell you the South MCs are known for being real. They are great storytellers. You can't be coming and be spitting bars. Like, we can go on and on. This is gonna be like 5-6 hours shows, because if you look at the geographical demographics of rappers in Nigeria, the just rappers are known for rhyme spitting. I might incur the wrath of people by saying the just MCs are the best rappers when it comes to the totality of what rap is. Hip hop, New York style, Bronx, that's just. The majestic rappers, they come from Abuja, Kaduna, Kanu, by virtue of being affiliated with the caliphate.
Yeah.
The South MCs, because we lack government funding, Wahala Day, Pollution Day, Militancy Day, that should be our fulcrum that we can use to project ourselves from. Then the Lagos MCs are known for partying, chilling with chicks and all of that in the club, you know, getting high on their own supply, you know. So we cannot, from Edo State, go to Lagos and try to sound like the Lagos MCs. Just the way the Lagos MCs cannot go to New York and try to sound like the New Yorkers. The fans will spot you as a fake right from when you start spitting your first bars. So the problem is the loss of identity has been occasioned by the fact that when they rap, when they do what them sabi do, even their Edo State people, know they look them, say that they do something. Case in question, I've been in Benin a couple of times and I'm listening to radio, and they'll probably slam an MI song, like 1 naira, and say, well, that's MI, you know, he's just representing, doing it for Nigeria, blah, 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 yada, 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 yada. And they'll probably play a One Touch next, and they say, oh, One Touch, it's one of our own here, you know, just from around the corner. You know, there's a way they do not balance the play.
Kind of like condescending.
Exactly. And the OAPs, the VJs, the presenters, they fail to recognize that they are the custodians. Whatever they tell the people on air is what the people will believe. I have been lucky that when I brought out my first album, people like Fidel Castro, Sidney Shocker, Chris Nabbs, St. Patrick's, they keyed into what Cyrus is and said, this is our own. Anywhere they put Two-Face, they go put Cyrus there. My record label then, Hex Records, shout out to the Prince Omoregbe Radio Hour. Thank you for everything, sir. He made sure that when it came to resources, if Two-Face was flying first class, Cyrus was always on first class. I'm telling you for a fact. I had my own team around me at that time, and Hex Records was basically the only record label in Benin at that time.
True.
You know, and whatever level that the Lagos artists felt they could operate from and be respected for, my record label made sure I was at that level, from flights to hotel accommodation to everything. So until we Edo State artists, Edo State people start to lift our own fame, we are truly lost. And it's scary because movies, music, entertainment, they are the vehicle used to convey message and carry culture from one generation to the next. And that's why there is a gap right now between the Cyrus generation of rappers in Edo State and this new generation. There is no linkage to keep the flame going. You understand? So the mindset is the people, the whole structure is wrong. Until I have been on shows in Benin here where Opa Williams, then for Night of 1,000 Laughs, he didn't know who I really was, but he knew Omoregbe had a record label, Prince Omoregbe had a record label, and I was performing on stage. I think I had just performed 1,000 Naira, and I was supposed to perform Inferiority next, you know, and the DJ cut off my performance mid-performance, you understand, and the crowd said they were not going to pay any attention to whoever was coming on next until they allowed me finish. They were actually doing the "all we are saying, give us Cyrus." It was like a man. It was. I can still feel goosebumps right from that event up till now. I was so proud to be from Edo State. It wasn't about the money. I was doing it for the passion, for the fact that I wanted Edo State to have a representation out there. And Opa Williams had to come from the VIP lounge upstairs. He ran through the crowd to tell the guy that, please, you know, not spoil my show. The Benin people, they are here, they ought to, please bring him back on stage. Even in Basket Mouth, I go die and I go save, shout outs. They said they were not going to come after me until I had finished performing my set. You know, these are the moments that make or break an artist, that give you the resolve to keep going. When your people are proud of you, there is no way you cannot conquer and become more. And that's facts.
Again, conversations happen a lot.
No,
and I've been around people when I just let people air their thoughts on situations like this. And some people have said, actually a lot of people have said, your generation of artists are to blame.
Okay.
Tell you why. They claim that during your come up, stakeholders were really interested. Like you said, shout out to Prince Omoregbe Records, basically, you know, did all that because it was interesting. There were a bulk of people who were interested in pushing the culture forward. But your generation, if I can put you in that context, actually would always like to bite the fingers that feed you. A lot of names were mentioned. How they have problems. Oh, this guy says, "Oh, come around, let me help you do this," and you know, come, you can live in this mansion, you can have it. Just and then something happens, and then there's a problem, and then there's a lack of communication, and then they both go their separate ways. It kills investor interest. It kills stakeholders' interest, commitment. Don't you think that's true?
Yes, it's true. Let me tell you something. With each commensurate genius, with each commensurate strength, comes a commensurate flaw. Einstein was one of the most brilliant minds to ever grace the earth. He was claustrophobic. You can't put him in a room because he will go berserk. Michael Jackson is still the world's greatest performer ever, and you know what he was doing behind scenes, you know, in the bedroom and stuff like that. let's digress. What I'm trying to say is, there is nobody who has an angel side that does not have a demon side. Nobody's perfect. Yes, I will agree to a large extent. Certain artists, including myself, we had our own peculiarities. There were times where I would just go against the wish of the record label. But Prince Omoregbe was mature enough to bring me back and call me back to the straight and narrow. Someone like if someone like Burna Boy had come up in my generation of artists, he would have been tossed aside by his record label because Burna Boy heard the hot.
Yeah.
He listens to nobody. But he was able to know that, okay, in Mama go fit conk, conk respect, enter in head back, conk direction, enter in head back. When we surprised everybody. When I came out, Nightwood came out, Makemis came out, Sleazy came out, Ciflo came out. We surprised everybody because they never knew that the way the Lagos artists rap or presented themselves musically and otherwise, Edo State artists could do that. So there was no well-planned structure on ground to manage an artist. Like an artist has to have an A&R, have a manager, has a team built around him so that he doesn't stray, or even if he strays, he can be managed within certain reasonable confines. What we're doing, we do it because, okay, we just like music. Omoregbe reached out and signed me to his record label because he liked what he heard coming from his own state and was like, okay, let's key into this. You understand? So by and large, I do not know a lot of the stories that went on with other people, but there is actually no song that you play about anybody that does not include the white and the black keys. They come together and they play the music of that person. You understand, together. So I would say yes, certain disagreements, certain wahala here and there happened, but that's just being human. The game has had its own altercations. 50 Cent has Jay-Z fell out with his own best friend. So these things happen in music. It's not like, hey, I want to sign you. Okay, sign me, and we are friends forever. And they sing into the horizon. It doesn't happen that way because these are two different entities that are coming together, and they have to forge an understanding. And understanding is what you can build over time. I was very young back in the day, so maybe my head they hot. I feel break 1 or 2 or 3 rules, but it took it had to take the wisdom of someone older and more exposed to say, okay, not be so that they do am, come sit down, do am like this.
All right. So what are you doing now to tell the youngins, say, do am like this? Are you reaching out? Are you being a mentor that you're supposed to be? Do you see yourself as being the guide to these youngins because their head now hot pass?
Bro, see, we're getting older and I don't have the kind of energy I had back in the day. To be honest, sometimes it becomes really exhausting. A lot of them reach out to me via social media when we meet up in the studio, even in Lagos and everything. But the truth is, the one when I go fit talk to, I go fit talk to. The one when I don't go fit talk to, there are lessons that love cannot teach somebody. Pain can teach that person. So sometimes you have to let some people wade through the waters, you understand, and learn their lessons on their own terms. But as much as possible, I'm not Jesus, man. I can't save the whole world, bro. So as much as possible, the ones I can reach out to and I feel I can influence, I will. But I can tell you for a fact, out of 100 that may come my way that may say, okay, what do you think about this? What advice do you have for this? Now only 3 out of that 100 will listen. Because everybody, once you're a creative, everybody believes in them smart pass. And what can you do? You can't force your will on somebody. You can only tell them and wish them well. So
do you think you play that role enough?
I haven't.
You haven't?
I haven't. That's why I told you that, man, when it comes to the whole legendary tag, I think by the way, I think that legendary tag is reserved for rappers that want to quit the game. I still feel like I am midway through the marathon. I've had an injection of adrenaline, so I still have a couple more years to give this, and I hope all the mistakes and all those I've neglected or all those I feel I've not reached out to well, I can do that over the next